good.
Any software company that has a yearly lease, we bring to the agenda. This is the financial package. This is on your personnel payroll. You did one last month for the technology, for the iPads, for that GMB. You'll get these periodically whenever they come due. So anytime that there's a license agreement that we have to sign for a year, we bring to you with the cost so that you know. This is for the actual financial software, for the payroll, the accounting.
We can't hear a word you're saying.
Yeah, this is for the financial software, the payroll, the accounting, the personnel, all the Harris solution is that. And anytime we have an agreement that extends a year, we'll bring it to you for approval.
Any other questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Motion to approve the one-year lease agreement between the Guthrie School District and Community Action Southwest.
So moved.
Second. Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Need a motion to approve the one-year lease agreement between Community
So
Action
moved.
Southwest.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Motion to approve the meal service agreement between Community Action Southwest Head Start and McGuffey School District.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Then I need a motion to approve the meal service agreement between Community Action Southwest Pennsylvania
So
pre-K
moved.
accounts.
Second.
Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. A motion to approve the negotiated settlement for 2017 real estate tax assessment appeal at Dogwood Hills Golf Course at the fair market value of $610,000.
So moved. Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Motion to authorize administration to pay regular and recurring invoices that may
So
come due
moved.
prior to the August
Second.
2000. Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Motion to approve payment to Andrews and Price for the submitted
So moved.
invoice.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. A motion to approve the following for closing the 2016-17 fiscal book years. Close 2016-17 books. Motion is second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. This motion is for the breakfast and lunch pricing. What's your wish?
Option 2,
I would second.
10-cent increase.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, now we're going to adopt the final budget of the Guthrie School District in the amount of
31,681 to 554.
the 2017-18 fiscal year and levy an annual tax of mills,
11.91.
11.91 mills. Mills the following taxes: $5 per capita, $5 per capita act 51, $10 flat rate occupation tax, half of 1% wage tax, and half of 1% real estate tax, transfer tax.
So moved. Second.
Motion second. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The motion to approve resolutions 2016-17 as presented, providing up to $270.97 homestead farmstead
So moved.
exclusion.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying yes, sir.
Can you read that whole motion so everybody understands what Homestead Act is?
Background information: the district received notification from the Pennsylvania Department of Education that $873,194 will be allocated from state gaming monies the homestead farmstead exclusion of the provisions of Act 50 and Act 1 for the school year beginning July 1st, 2017. This resolution details the exclusion and all calculations involved in the assessed value reduction of approved homeowners. So providing up to $270.97 per homestead farmstead. So that's where the gaming money goes. Which is good, $280 or $270. But I think the gaming industry's doing a little better than that. Just my opinion. Facilities use report.
Do we have to vote on that?
Oh, we have to vote on that?
Do we have a first and a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
Any other questions on that motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Facilities use report.
We had 50 requests to use our facilities in May, 34 were school-related, and 16 were community-related.
Budget expenditure report. Cafeteria report. Andrews and Price.
I did it all my work in executive.
American Career Technology Center. I was not here tonight.
We vote that down.
Public comment on agenda and non-agenda items.
Group, there are 7 people signed up.
Okay. I can call,
Oh, there's somebody signed up?
Yes, sir. Colleen. Bretzky.
Roger, do you have a time?
Begin, Mr. Bretzky.
My name's Colleen Brinsky. I live in Downville Township.
Is the green light on there?
Yep.
Okay.
Like y'all couldn't hear me before. I'm Colleen Brinsky. I live in Donegal Township. I have 2 children in the school district. I just wanted to bring up, ask what other measures were looked at before we looked at furloughing teachers. What specific things were looked at as far as administration? Did anybody personally look at taking pay cuts? Looking at just maybe 1 superintendent instead of 2? Like they have in similar districts of our size, since our district is shrinking. You know, I know some of the teachers that are being furloughed will take us down to 1 8th grade social studies teacher. That teacher also runs the NJHS program. You know, that's a lot to be responsible for. One of the teachers that you're furloughing is one of the STEAM teachers. I know we have grants. That's the direction that all education is going, is in STEAM. You know, any other school you go to, that's STEAM, 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 and you're looking at furloughing a STEAM teacher, and you get grants for STEAM. Tech ed, you know, you're cutting tech ed positions. I understand you're saying shrinking enrollment. That should also look at a shrinking administration. 2 of the positions you eliminated directly affected your 2 varsity softball coaches. I don't know if you realize that. The 2 of your positions you cut, those are your 2 varsity softball coaches. You're going to have 1 family consumer science teacher for all of middle school and all of high school. 1.5 language teachers for all of middle school and all of high school. You say you're preparing students for college. You have to have 2 years of a language to get accepted to a college. The language teachers are already overwhelmed. The only language you offer at McGuffey at this point is Spanish. Our base is shrinking. You need to attract teachers and families to the district. When people go to look at where they're going to buy a house, the first thing they want to know is what school district it's in and look at the numbers for the school district. You know, there's some other options maybe to look at, facilities, administration, some other ways to cut costs besides ways that are going to directly affect tests and students. That's all. Thank you.
Brandon Hunter.
Hi, my name is Bryn Hunter. I'm from the Donegal Township, and I'm a current student at McGuffey. Just going to make this quick. The people that you have now fired, who are our coaches, our teachers, those people might not affect you. It's just one last paycheck that you have to sign. Those people are molding me, the rest of the school, into what they're going to be after they get out of this, whether they travel, go to college, go to work. Either way, what you've done is you've limited our experience. Not yours, ours.
Shelby.
Hello, I'm Shelby Dobrinsky from Donegal Township, and I'm speaking to you today as a McGuffey student with concerns about the list of teachers for me. In particular, Ms. Shriver and Coach Kerr. These teachers have not only been mentors for me and my fellow classmates, but also men and women who have taught us about life beyond the classroom. For example, the commitment in anything I do, the respect that I should show to my peers, and to always follow pride expectations. Although there are still teachers and staff that can provide us with these basic life lessons, you are getting rid of those who inspire us the most. Although I am only one person, when I leave here today, I hope that I have shown my appreciation for those teachers, but also that I would not be here today if it were not for them. To those of you who will no longer be able to continue spreading your wonderful, wonderful wisdom to the McGuffey students, I want to thank you for everything that you have done, and it does not go unnoticed. The McGuffey School District should be proud to have been able to call you a McGuffey staff member. Thank you.
Katie Seabright.
Hello, I am Katie Seabright from Donegal Township. I am here as a concerned student. The list of teacher positions being cut impacts the students the most. I specifically want to mention Ms. Shriver and Coach Kern. These two individuals have impacted me and many other students' lives. They have taught me about commitment in the classroom and on the ball field. They are the types of leaders this school district should be proud to have. In addition to these two individuals, many of the teachers being let go are ones that we as students appreciate the most. It would be my wish that you as a school board explore alternative solutions to our financial problems. Thank you very much.
Peggy McCall.
Okay, I've been in the school district for 31 years. I didn't grow up in this district, but I do remember that when Dr. Collette went in as our assistant superintendent, she went in because we needed someone that would be able to go directly in to our superintendent's job. We now have an assistant superintendent, but hopefully we won't have to get another superintendent. But why, when you moved straight in February, March, whatever it was, because the other one retired, why did we continue with an assistant superintendent when the reason we had the assistant superintendent was to cover for our loss of Dr. Abdur? I'm confused. I see how much money we're putting out to everything in the school district, and we really need to look and see where it's all going. I mean, I've sat back and I've watched, and I'm just a stupid farmer that, really wants to see things grow in this area, but I don't appreciate the fact that we're letting all these teachers go. We only have one language. My daughter had 1 year of German, and this German teacher retired. She decided she didn't want to try another language. You only have 1.5 Spanish teacher to teach all these kids, the only foreign language in the school. We really, truly need to look into what we're doing, who's here, what's going on, and all you people that are here, this is great. This is the first time in all the meetings I've been to that there's been this many people here.
That's
And this
right.
is what we need in this school district, is for everyone to step up and do what they should do instead of sitting back and letting it all fall apart on us. Thank you.
Victoria Wright. Victoria Wright.
She went home.
Thank you. Casey Dietrich. Sorry.
Hi, my name is Cassie Dietrich, and I'm a student here at McGuffey High School. I came because I have heard many rumors, and I'm concerned about the impact that your decisions will make on the electives here at McGuffey. An example is the lack of variety of foreign languages. I took French 1 last year, and it was wasted because they cut the program. And now there's only 1.5 Spanish teachers. Maybe I don't want to take Spanish. I'm also concerned about our music program. By cutting one of the teachers, you have opened up a gap that needs to be filled by somebody else. And I'm concerned that it might be my chorus teacher. And I do not want to lose chorus. As a student, I feel like your decisions are based on the budget, not on the well-being of our students and teachers. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Frank Arcembo.
I want to thank the board for the opportunity to be able to serve for a while. And I do regret resigning, but I don't owe you an explanation. I owe you. Members of the school board, the upper echelon, discovered information about me, about my past over 50 years ago, and threatened to expose me with legal litigation that would have been costly and extremely embarrassing to my precious wife, who took her oath of citizenship March 29th. And I wasn't going to let that happen. So I resigned because a motion was going to be made to start litigation against me.
So they threatened you?
They threatened you that
Betty Shingle, Donegal Township. I want to say that's disgusting. That is morally and ethically disgusting. I have watched this board be very mean and decisive to that man when he's simply asking questions. I have questions. This agenda is baloney. There's nothing on it. And we wouldn't know if he didn't sometimes say, can you answer this question? What's this money going for? What does this mean? I think it's a very sad thing that we're going to lose someone that is going to do that because of some kind of petty nonsense that was 50 years ago. Now, with that said, I've been on the end of a sinking ship. This sounds pretty dismal. It's very sad. My children all grew up in this school, and I'm proud to be a member of this community. But at the same time, when we have been on sinking ships, the leaders try to pitch in and do their part. Now, we have already seen that we've had some, and let's be clear, continuing education units that have benefited some of the doctorate people sitting here. So I would like to know what those two people, I don't care. What are those two people personally who make some of the highest salaries in not just our district, in many districts? What are they doing? What are they from their heart doing for this community? Are they saying you can keep your job because I'm going to take half salary? Because I really think something like that should be considered. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, that concludes the list.
Request to sidebar with council.
Go to exec session.
The question that was asked was, what is the process for filling a vacancy when there is a resignation? That process is spelled out under the school code, and the board has 30 days in which to fill that vacancy from the time the vacancy becomes known, which is tonight. Obviously, the next scheduled meeting of this board is beyond 30 days, so the board will need to have a special meeting to fill the vacancy that has been created here tonight. Because of the timing of the vacancy, and I think I'm correct on this, I think Mr. Archibald's term would not have expired until 2 years plus from now. The vacancy will be filled until the first Monday of December. There will be a 2-year term placed on the ballot in November, and I believe the political parties decide who they will place into that position to be on the ballot, since it was not on the primary. At that point, the person who wins that short-term election will become a member of the board for 2 years until the term that Mr. Archibald held would have expired. Also, the vacancy must be filled by someone who is from Mr. Archibald's region, as this district is a regional district and not an at-large district. In a nutshell, that's what we need to do.
So we can pass something tonight and they can decide who wants to do it?
I'm sorry?
Can we pass it around and they can all sign up who wants to do it?
I would request that anybody from Donegal that spoke tonight,
No, it's Donegal, Blaine.
and Blaine,
Claysville.
yes, this is your opportunity to actually be involved in the decision-making.
But what typically happens is a board will set a deadline of, say, 2 weeks to submit letters of interest with background information, resumes, if you will. Once the number of letters of interest have been received, the board would consider those and appoint. I'll also advise the board that all meetings, deliberations, etc., relative to the filling of this vacancy are to be held in public.
You say that to be held in public?
I'm addressing the board, sir.
Well, I didn't hear you.
So,
Of course they are to be in public, yes, sir.
so we need to pass a motion tonight for a time frame to advertise for a meeting and for
Less than 30 days.
It would have to be within you'd have to advertise a special meeting. It could be for general or specific purpose. Most likely it should be general, and it needs to be within the 30-day period in which to fill that vacancy.
All right, so we need a motion to authorize administration to post a vacancy.
Well, I think that the motion should authorize the advertisement of a meeting for general purposes, a special meeting for general purposes, and set a date by which letters of interest should be submitted to the board in care of the board secretary.
July 6th is 3 weeks from
That's for tonight. We can-
now. June 29th?
Like looking at dates, it would require 5 votes to fill the vacancy. Not a majority of those present, but 5 votes.
July 13th is 30 days from now.
So that, I believe, is
It falls within our
30
parameters.
days.
Pardon? That falls within our parameters. Okay. I'm good.
7 o'clock.
No, I
7 o'clock on that.
When you want letters
2 weeks from tonight.
So that would be the 6th. That's when I'm sorry.
Those interviews would be public, and you could schedule those an hour or whatever it would be prior to the meeting.
Make that
Second.
Second, Mr. Kelly.
The motion is that we'll have a meeting for general purposes on July the 13th at 7 a.m. 7 p.m., I'm sorry. And the administration will, the board secretary will post that requirement that's needed for that meeting, and also publicize the opening for the board with letters to be received by 2 weeks tonight.
July 29th.
July.
You're gonna do-
June 29th.
You're gonna do the interviews the night of the meeting?
Yes, that's what the action meeting will be for.
Again, because you're going to advertise it for general purposes, you can take other action at that board meeting if necessary and something comes up.
I think we're gonna have a couple of interviews, we need to start the same.
Yeah.
Make a motion 6 o'clock.
Second.
That one couple.
I hope we'll have a whole bunch of candidates out there.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions on the motion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Any other business on the board?
I have a question for Dr. Coleman. How many French teachers have we interviewed? Over the last year and a half, 2 years?
For 2 years, we tried to find a French teacher. The second year, not only did we try to find a French teacher, but we also surveyed the students to see what other languages they would be interested in learning, including but not limited to German, Italian, French, American Sign Language. We listed as many as we could come up with. We used those survey results. We advertised multiple times for those vacancies, and we haven't gotten any candidates.
The languages are very, very few people graduating that are French teachers.
Overall, state certifications in Pennsylvania have decreased significantly, but language teachers in particular.
It's not like we don't want a second language.
That's correct.
We can't find anybody that's qualified to teach it.
That's
I
correct.
had one for a while.
And I know personally, because I sent a couple to you.
From West Virginia? Yeah, she couldn't get certified. They get certified.
They're not certified in Pennsylvania, they can't do it. Okay, I just want to get it clear that it's
Thank
not,
you.
we're not just Spanish oriented. We cannot find a French teacher or a German teacher
Or any other language.
or any other language teacher.
They don't wonder why.
Well, we've had people apply for the job. They just didn't know how to teach the subject. Right or wrong?
They weren't recommended.
Okay.
Any other? Make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at
4 of these members are vulnerable in November. And my slot is Gibby. You're on the ballot.
Sorry, Carl, I don't get that French thing.
Thanks, Richard.